YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have another deck profile, but this deck profile is from my one and only Mario. We have a deck profile of the new Shadow Paladins, Mordred Phantom, and the biggest question is, how broken is this deck? Because there's been a lot of hype. A lot of people have been waiting for Mordred Phantom, and thing is Mordred Phantom that good, or is it just hype? But today we have Mario breaking down his build for us, explaining everything that he has, and he's gonna flex a little bit. Well, actually, he's gonna flex throughout the whole video.
Flex a lot.
He's gonna flex a lot. So, remember to comment, like, subscribe, and take it away.
Alright, so this is a Shadow Paladin deck. There's nothing special about it. It's relatively cookie cutter, and I've been following most of the Japanese lists. Most of the Japanese lists, actually, to get a basis. So right now, this is cookie cutter at the moment. Your starter is full bow. You can run the other one if you choose. And starting off, your main monster is Mordred. On Cold Blaster Dark, get a gift, and this is a Overlord the Great. Now, in terms of card advantage, it gives you a lot of options, because if you want to play tactfully, you can swing into rear guards, even though most of the time it's just a matter of going to face, because you want to hurt their hand as hard as possible so that you can eventually go into your waterfall. Like, the thing about this deck is, mentality-wise, this is Kagero. Nearly every single card that Kagero has, we do in a sense. This is Overlord the Great, this is Waterfall, you have your Berserk Dragons in a weird way, kind of, and just the overall advantage that you get from just not committing to the board state, because you have Nemains, you have Maka, Karen, you have so many draw options in the deck, and just the sheer advantage that you get from it is overall just incredible. So, as of right now, I'm playing 4, and I'm playing 3 of this. Continuing on, you know what this is, Blaster Dark, you know what the skill is. Starting off, the most important thing actually is just the twin drive. You can mind game your opponent slightly if you want to make them commit because they're going into a game 2 or 3 scenario, and you could have them minus indirectly, and you can get the twin drive, which is good for just starting with a momentum. But overall, I think you actually want to save this card in your hands because you would much rather go into Masquerade. The thing about Masquerade is that searching Blaster Dark and just keeping this in hand so that you have it for later plays is a lot more important. I have found many instances in which I wanted to willingly ride this to save the Blaster Dark so that I have it for the following turn. Because if I play it on my first grade 3 ride, and they're not a grade 3, it's a bit of a dead card. Only in the sense that I'm not retaining the max value that I can get from it. Because getting the restand, getting the force marker, and the possible retire is going to give you much more advantage than just riding it by itself, and even just attempting to be aggressive on your first grade 3 ride. But Masquerade skill, search top 7 for Mordred or Blaster Dark. This is your consistency engine. You have a decent chance of opening this within like 6 cards or something like that. Probably roughly 64% if I had to take a guess, but I haven't ran the numbers 100%. So it's probably incorrect. So another card for draw engine. We have Maka and we have Karen. So I honestly want to play the Revenger package, except I have no arguments to do that. A lot of the Japanese lists have been moving away from this engine and just going full on the main Swordbreaker, which could be correct because you can establish okay columns, but the big play is that you want to tank as hard as possible, and as soon as your opponent gets to a high damage value, then you can start pushing for game, because then you're able to just commit for 4 or 5 attacks, and that momentum shift is absolutely huge. But this is your draw engine, and the best thing about this card is that it's Soul Blast, so that you can actually get your Blaster Darks out of Soul if you have to ride it or anything like that. So I'm considering to move into just 4 Swordbreaker, because for now I'm just running a 4-2 split. This is your another insane advantage engine. The fact that you can theoretically open this turn 1 and then get 3 units turn 2, so that you can rush with 2 columns, get an additional draw. If that's a grade 2 or greater, or anything that can touch, great. Plop it down, you have 3 attacks, turn 2. This is fantastic. But once again, I want to actually bump this up to 4, if anything, to actually tank up as hard as possible and just hit that late game. Because the deck struggles a little bit to get to that late game safely, and you're very piece reliant. And that's one of the big problems, or the only problem I can really see with this deck at the moment. So Masquerade is another card that's going to help you get your Blaster Darks from grave. And what you can do if you want to be very aggressive, you can play this over a Blaster Dark, have it go away, and then use the skill to put it into Soul and call one back. If you want to overextend, or you just need to push for game, it's a fantastic play to do so. But most of the time you want to save this for recovery, or use it as the 11k booster to create better magic numbers. Well, once again, the card quality in the set is absolutely fantastic. And trigger lineup, currently I'm running a crit, 4 draw, 4 heal. I don't know if I want to do anything more. I honestly want to experiment with 6/6, but I have the fear of decking out and the momentum shift which you get from checking crits, especially on a restand play, or if you need to hit that point where you have left and right columns swinging with crits because you have a Blaster Dark restand, or you have the waterfall with a crit. Like, the pressure granted from this is probably what you need, because you can not extend, but you can speed up the game state, and the draws, they're good, but with the deck itself, you're going to be drawing as hard as you need to, as hard as you're willing to commit, because you could choose to overextend in this deck. And so, while we don't have a G-Zone, the closest thing that I can get to is this lineup: 2 Rekka, 2 Ren, 1 of each because they're the same, and then 2 IG just to round off your 4
So
spells.
my question is, in the Pale Moon matchup, how does this one help you?
Does this one help me? It doesn't. Pale Moon, now we go Force 2, right?
Yeah.
Please don't not go Force 2 with this deck. This is a terrible idea.
Alright, Mario, so last question I want to ask you.
What's up?
So, now that we're getting a new game mechanic, a lot of people are wondering, will Shadow Paladins be relevant or irrelevant with a new game mechanic coming out?
What's the new mechanic?
It's the astral plane, correct?
Yep.
Because the thing is, like, everyone's gonna play Shadows, regardless. Like, there's always gonna be one person at your locals who's gonna play Shadows. There's always gonna be that one person. I definitely think that they're going to exist because of a new idea that has been rising up in Japan, which is just Phantom Blaster Dragon 2.0, which sounds like the spiciest thing, and I honestly wanted to test that out as well. But I do think Shadow Paladin will stay relevant because of the card advantage that you can get and the immense pressure that you can just put out. And I think it's incredible still. It's going to hold its value for a long time coming.
Alright, good, alright. Alright guys, remember to comment, like, subscribe. If you guys have any comments, leave a comment down below. Either I will respond to you or Mario will on his private cool YouTube channel, because Mario's also a YouTuber. And yeah. Alright guys, I will see you guys next time.
Peace out.
Deuces.